Welcome to Up on Game presents Taylor Scouting. Coach Randy Taylor is bringing his 40-plus years of knowledge to you. This is Taylor Scouting. And now, here's Coach Randy Taylor.
Welcome back to LeVar Arrington's Up on Game Network, the Taylor Scouting Podcast. This is Randy Taylor. They call me Coach Taylor, and I am here to do a little education. We might get inspired. This is an outstanding way to learn about college football recruiting, college football, high school football, training for football with a bit of the NFL thrown in the mix. We're on the Up on Game Network on YouTube, on the iHeartRadio podcasts, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you get a podcast, you can find us. I even found us on Spotify, which was kind of cool because I didn't know what that was. But it's there for you, man. And on YouTube, I like it because you can watch it on the Up on Game Presents Taylor Scouting. And so it's a lot of fun to do this for LeVar and Up on Game Network and my guy Vito. My guest today is a longtime friend and former Illini great, Mike Martin. Mike was the product of Eastern High School, Washington, D.C., attended Illinois, and I tell you what he did. He helped turn that program into a winner in the Big Ten as a receiver and a returner. And Mike's a tremendous person and really admire him, and I think we're going to get some good info out of today's session. He was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, helped them get to the Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers. He stayed in Cincinnati after he played, where he operated some nightclubs, coached Taft HS, which he turned into a winning program after they had dropped football. He brought that back. We'll learn about that in a little bit too. Mike currently lives in Chicago, where he owns several smoothie bars. I'm going to have to get up to see one of those, and a fitness facility with your daughter, Morgan.
Yes.
Mike also runs the NFL Mike Martin Flag Football League, which we will talk about a little bit later in this show and learn some stuff about that. A great human being and a winner. Welcome, Mike.
My pleasure, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. You might be a little frozen there on the screen, but we will figure it out. Hey, Mike, tell us a bit about your family and your personal path to get here in kind of a general terms. You know, I gave your background.
Well, I grew up in Washington, D.C., like you mentioned, and I grew up in the projects in Washington, D.C. And actually, we didn't have any choice, but going outside and playing every day was the thing. You know how these kids today, they got all the video games, they got all the different things that they're doing, but getting an opportunity to go out and play. And I was a big sports junkie. I played everything. But I also grew up without a dad in the household. And so my mom was everything to the family. She was the father, she was the mother, she was the disciplinarian. Everything you can think of, my mom did. And so my objective was to get us out of the projects. And I knew the way I was going to get that done was pretty much getting an opportunity to go to college. And my grades were okay in high school. They were just enough to get me in college, but I realized that I had to do more once I got to college. So my my study habits, had to improve. And got a chance to go to the University of Illinois. As a matter of fact, I was recruited in football, basketball, and track. So I had some options. But I don't remember if you remember Gary Dirchick. You remember that name, Randy?
Yeah, I sure do.
Gary Dirchick recruited me. And we had a guy who was an All-American linebacker at my high school. And everybody thought we were going to be a package deal. They were coming in looking for him. And the coach, our high school coach, was saying, well, you may want to take Mike with you. So I was going to be a part of a package deal wherever he went. But Gary Durchek in Illinois came in, and I just happened to be I was doing something in the hallway, and he came in, and I said, "How you doing, sir? Can I help you?" And he said, "Yes." He said, "I'm Gary Durchek, University of Illinois," and I said, "Oh, Illinois." I said, "You must be looking for Mike Welcher." He said, "No, I'm looking for Mike Martin." I said, "Oh, wow, that's me." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, we would like to sit down and talk to you about the University of Illinois." And I'm thinking, okay, that's different. Normally I'm thrown in as a package deal, but not this time. And so he sat down and talked with me and came to my home that evening and blew my mom away. And I went and visited some other schools. And when I went to Illinois, I had a great time. I met some good people. Actually, I'm still friends with to this day. I met guys that didn't even play football who were actually in my wedding. That's how much of a vibe I had with people at Illinois. And so I decided to go there, and man, it turned out great.
So, Mike, with the NFL returning to preseason camp, I thought it'd be a good time to talk to a guy that's made it in the league and used that to win in life.
Yeah.
And so, what I want to do is ask some questions of you. And so, can you give us a sense of what it takes to get to the NFL, first of all?
Well, I know the way I went at it was I figured I had to be, in my mind, I had to be the best player on the field at all times. No matter what I was doing, I had to shine. But in order for me to shine, I had to be in shape, because I knew that, out there dragging and not doing everything that you were supposed to do. And I knew that was going to be big. So I made sure that I was in shape. I worked hard getting up to that point. When I showed in for the rookie minicamp, I literally shined, even though I was an 8th round draft choice. They don't even have 8 rounds anymore, but I was an 8th draft choice. And I went into camp and I had a chip on my shoulder because, man, I know you remember, I led the nation in receiving my senior year. And I had doctors saying that I had loose knees. I'm like, where did that come from? I never had a loose knee. Because I called Chip Myers. Chip was I think at the time he was with the Colts, I believe. And I'm like, Chip, what's going on, man? I said, why am I dropping in the draft? He said, our doctor, somebody's saying that you had loose knees. He said, I'm trying to get them to get the coach to draft you. He said, but just hang in there. And I'm like, wow, you got to be kidding me. Loose knees? I've never had injuries, but a knee injury wasn't one of them. And so going into camp, I just felt like I had to be the best player out there every day. And when you get the defensive coaches coming up to you and they say, hey, Martin, keep up the good work, man. You're starting to get noticed out here. I said, okay. I said, well, that's all I need to hear. Tell me what I need to do. And so when the veterans came in, I continued the hard work. I made Kenny Anderson stay after practice to throw me balls, and they thought I had very good work ethic. And I was one of those guys, you only had to tell me once what to do, and I got it. And it didn't help that we wound up running some of the same offense that we ran in college. So I picked up on everything. I knew exactly what the audibles clicked. And I'm thinking, wow, they calling the audible that we called in college because of Mike White coming from San Francisco. Same offense that we ran in Illinois. So that really helped. But the biggest thing for me, Randy, was the fact that I was a hard worker, man, and I was a very good listener.
Great qualities for a winner like you. You've also been a success in business. Is there a common thread of the effort between being an NFL player and successful business owner?
Yeah, competing at the highest level in football taught me how to compete in business. You have to be savvy. You have to understand, what it is that you need to do. Keep in mind, when I left football, I wound up owning some nightclubs. And I realized that I had to sell myself, just like I did in football. I had to sell myself as a receiver. And in the nightclub business, you have to sell yourself that your place is the best out there. And so I kept, really trying to work hard on what I was doing to just to make sure that, again, competing with the best of them, because I was the new kid on the block when I got involved, and I wanted to make sure that I continue to work hard, and I got that from football. All that translated over into the real world.
And then you went and you were coaching at Taft High School, and they haven't had any success really. Now, did they drop their program before you got there?
Yeah, the year before I got there, they actually had 5 kids show up for practice, and they had to cancel their season, and which messed up a lot of their opponent's season, because now, they didn't have the 10 games that they were supposed to have. They had 9, and so the principal came out and he found out, because at the time I was coaching my son in youth football, and I said, "Wow," I said, I really like this. I think I can do this. And so somehow the principal of Taft got wind of it, and he had me come in and sit down with him. He wanted to give me a tour of the building. So we walked through the school, walked through the building, and when the bell rang, all the kids were coming out in the hallway, to switch classes. Evidently, they must have been conspiring to have a mass fight once the bell rang. And I mean, the bell rang, kids came out, and it was just a brawl everywhere. So everyone was fighting, and the principal was so embarrassed. He was like, "Oh, Mike, I'm so sorry. He said, you're not supposed to see this. I'm really embarrassed." I said, "Hey, I grew up in this environment. This is right up my alley. I'm ready to take this job." He said, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yes." He said, "This is the stuff that I do. I go in and I change mindsets. I change lives." And he said, "Well, wow." He said, "Well, thank you." He said, "This scared the daylights out of me, because I thought because of what you saw, it wasn't going to be up to par for you." I said, "No." I said, "This is right up my alley." And so they introduced me at a press conference. But the one thing that I did, Randy, which I thought was very, very instrumental to gaining the acceptance from everybody. I had a press conference. I invited every sport to the press conference, and I wanted them up there with me. And my thing was, I said I was going not only change the mindset of how they felt about football at Taft, I was going to change the mindset about how they felt about all sports at Taft. I was going to change the mindset about the students and how they felt for their home teams. I was going to change the mindset of the community and how they felt about Taft. And that's exactly what happened. Fortunately for me, I was working for the media at the time. I was working for a TV station. And so I was always on TV. So whenever I needed something, I was able to go to them. "Hey, man, listen, I need you to come to Taft and film some things." And so, man, it worked out great.
You are one of those guys, man. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because of that. Everything you've done and overcame, and I just wanted to say, what was that? Your son, was that Marcus?
Yes.
Who was playing? Tell us about Marcus. Yeah, we loved Marcus,
Marcus. Well, I remember you remember the movie Coach Carter,
right?
I was Coach Carter before it came. I said, "Man, they took my story." Marcus we lived out in the suburbs of Cincinnati. Marcus was going to a school out in the suburbs. And so he was like, "Dad," he's called me Pop. He's like, "Pop, man, I want to come play for you." And I said, "Listen, you had a good school." I said, "This is a good school as well." I said, "They get a bad reputation because, they're in a bad neighborhood." And so I said, "I want you to come. You got to talk to your mom." And so I told Michelle, I said, "Listen, come visit the school. And all she kept saying was, Mike, man, there's murders going on across the street from the school. It's in a very crime-filled area. I don't know if I want him to be down there. I said, first of all, I'm going to be there. He's going to be with me. He will be fine. They will love him. And so she came to the school and she said, wow, she said, this is a really good school. She said, I think you guys get a bad rep because of where you are. And so she said, I'm okay. She said, I'm fine. She said, I'll let Marcus go. And Marcus came and he clicked with the players right away. I mean, right away, because he was giving them insight on me. And at first they were wondering, man, if this guy gonna go back and tell his dad everything we talked about, but that wasn't him. You know, he was real loyal to his friends, but he also, if there was something wrong with someone, he would let me know that as well. And so every weekend we had a house full of kids. He would bring them home. And so our thing is, we became family to all these players, all the players that I've coached. We became family. But Marcus was the catalyst to that. Marcus was somebody that whenever he saw something going on that was negative in someone's life, he would say, hey, Pop, we gotta go talk to them, man. We gotta show them that there's more to life than what they see every day. And the biggest thing, we would go to a lot of recreation centers and he would see the kids and he was like, Pop, listen, let's help teach these kids the game that we love at an early age. So they will understand when they get older, they understand, how it's supposed to be done, how everything's supposed to work. And so Marcus got a full academic ride. He made All-State at a linebacker, but he got a full academic ride to Wabash College in Indiana. And they wanted him to play football. And he decided he would go there to play football. And then he called me one day and I said, where are you? I said, aren't you guys doing 2 days right now? He said, yeah. He said, listen, I really need to talk to you because I don't think I want to play anymore. And I don't want to disappoint you. I said, man, why? Why not? Why don't you want to play? He said that the love of it is gone from me. He said, my football career is not going to get any further than here. He said, so I just want to focus on being a student. I said, hey, man, listen, that's up to you. I said, I'm good with that. If that's what you want to do. He said, oh, wow. He said, thank you. He said, that was a big weight off my shoulders. He said, because I thought you were going to be disappointed. I said, no, man, that's your life. You lived your life. He said, so I'm going to come home and help you coach on the weekends. Come on, let's do it. And long story short, man, he wound up transferring to Columbia College in Chicago because he was big in the film and theater and that kind of thing. And so when he came to Chicago, he wound up getting a job in DC, working with my brother's production company. My brother has a big company in Washington, DC. And he called me one day and said, hey, Pop, I don't feel well, man. I said, so what's going on? He said, I don't know. He said, they told me I fainted at work. He said, so they took me to the hospital in the ambulance. He said, I'm fine now. So he went to the hospital. My brother said, hey, I'm going to take him home. They're not really doing anything. And I said, no, let him rest. I said, let him just get some rest. And so talking to him, he's like, hey, Pop, listen, he said, I'm going to call you in the morning. I said, yeah, please do, man. Let me know how everything is going. I said, let's talk in the morning. He said, all right, I love you, man. Love you, Pop. I get a call the next day. Next morning, they told me he had passed, just like that. And for me, not having a dad in my life growing up, I had a daughter. My daughter is incredible, but I couldn't wait to have a son. And because I thought everything was complete for me when I had my son, and I wanted to show him how a dad's supposed to be, even though I didn't have mine. I was going to be a great dad in spite of not having one. And when he passed, Randy, it changed my world, man. I talked to you plenty of times about it. It changed my life, changed my world. And so I pretty much said the rest of my life is going to be dedicated to him. I'm gonna make sure that his legacy is alive. We created the Marcus Martin Foundation, and we have free youth football camps for kids. We give out college scholarships to kids, and every time I go, I do a speaking circuit where I go talk to young kids about you know uh, kids that are at the sports camps, and I pretty much let them know I'm here because Marcus is smiling. Marcus wanted me to be in front of him, and how that motivates me every morning because I know every day. As a matter of fact, when I get off with you, I am going out to promote the Martin NFL Flag League, going to some of the recreation centers around town to show that, hey, this is what we do, this is how we act, this is why you need to be a part of this. These are some of the things that I want to show that I can keep Marcus's legacy alive. So, man, I'm on the ground every day, Randy, every day.
Yeah, I believe that, Coach. Hey, how do you get in connection with the Marcus Martin Foundation?
Basically, you can just look up the Marcus Martin Foundation. We have a website, and you can go on, and it'll pull up everything that we do. The Martin NFL Flag League, that's a totally different website. And so, but if anybody's interested, they can actually go to both the Marcus Martin Foundation and the Martin NFL Flag League. You can go to that, go to both of those. You can just Google them, and both of them will pop up.
Hey, I wanted to talk about that Flag League too. So, how did it start?
Well, I'm the national wide receivers coach for Rivals. And so I help rank some of the high school kids, for the colleges. And so I talked with Isaiah Reese, who's handling Rivals now through RCX Sports. And when I was working for NCSA, I wound up leaving them, and I just wanted to move on and do something else. And so I'm at a coaches convention. I want to say it was in New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. And they said, hey, they had a booth set up. They said, hey, listen, we do Rivals. We would love for you to be the wide receiver coach. I said, okay. And wound up being a receiver coach with them. And then through coaching with them, I started hearing about NFL flag. And so they said, hey, Mike, you need to come to our summit and see if it stirs up something in you to see if you want to create a league in Chicago. And so I went and I talked to people and I saw how it was going. I'm like, man, I said, this is right up my alley. I get to do the things that Marcus was talking about as far as getting to the young kids at an early age. But the positive thing about flag is that you're teaching them the fundamentals without them having to worry about contact, without the parents having to worry about concussions and all the things that go with that. Now, don't get me wrong. I tell people if I had an opportunity to play tackle football all over again as a young kid, I would do it to this day. I would let my kids do it to this day. But the difference is now they have a platform that can allow them to learn how to play the right way. And so when I started doing that, I said, you know what? Getting an opportunity to teach these kids the right way to play is a plus. And so we combined the Marcus Martin football camp, and we trickled that right into the Marcus League because we teach them the fundamentals at the camp, and then we continue to teach the fundamentals during flag. So I'm going into my third season now. And I love it, man. It's a whole family deal. My wife gets involved, and we love it. We love it.
Is it the NFL is involved?
Yes, the NFL.
What's their role?
They are like one of the major sponsors of NFL flag, and as you know, they changed the Pro Bowl to flag football. That's because NFL, the flag league is actually very competitive. And now these guys at the pro level, they don't have to worry about like somebody getting hurt, somebody getting hit. And if you notice, man, they went all out. They were actually running full routes and being covered. It's almost like 7-on-7 going against somebody else. And but they NFL, they get behind it. We use NFL team jerseys. We have all their gear. You can order all their stuff online, and they want all the teams throughout the NFL to actually get involved.
So who can join? What age groups? Who can join these teams?
For our league, we do ages boys and girls ages 5 through 13. We want to catch them before they get to high school, and so that's one of the things that I'm getting ready to do this evening. I'm going out and I'm hitting all the recreation departments in the summertime, and I'm going to put some information out, letting them know, hey, if you need something, I'm in the grocery stores, I'm at the shop, you name it. I'm going everywhere talking about flag, because I do run into some parents that say, I don't know if I don't want my kid getting, explaining to them that it's non-contact. You can't even block. It's almost like, so once you get the ball, once you catch a pass, once you get a handoff, you're on your own. And so I have to make sure the kids understand, hey, no blocking, guys. So any kid from the age 5 to 13 with our league get an opportunity to play. But they actually go up to 17 or 18, and they actually have some adult leagues as well.
And so tell me again how all of these folks can join this or be involved.
Well, what you can do is in with our league, you can go to the Martin NFL Flag League. You can Google it and it'll pop up, and it'll take you right to our website. And you can volunteer, you can be a coach, you can sign up a whole team if you like, or you can sign up individuals. And that is the best way to do it. Martin NFL Flag League. Go straight to that, and it'll pull all the information up that you need.
Are there other cities? You're in Chicago, and so is it a pretty big league in Chicago?
It's getting there. I know there's a major league in Rockford, Illinois. There's a big league there. I think they have flag here. I don't know how much they have NFL flag. There's a lot of flag leagues. I know the recreation departments do flag leagues, but I'm not sure how much they're affiliated with NFL flag. I know the Chicago Bears, they get behind a couple of the leagues out, I want to say out west and that kind of thing. But my objective is to make Martin NFL flag huge. I want it to be all over the city, all in the suburbs. When you talk about flag, I want people talking about Martin NFL flag, because they know we're going to make sure that it's done the right way.
What would be another? So is this in Los Angeles and Texas, or
all over the country?
Yeah.
Flag football is all. When we were at the summit, we went to a summit about 3 weeks ago, and they have representation from every nook and cranny in the country. Every one organization had 5,000 kids in their program. And so one of the big things right now is that they're trying to put NFL flag girls leagues. They're trying to get them in the high schools, because they want to start having state championships with girls NFL flag. And so that's the big initiative right now, getting NFL flags in high schools. And I'm supposed to be trying to help with some high schools do that as well.
Is there a link? If they go to your site, if they go to Martin NFL Flag Football League, is there a national link that they can get? Because we'll have people watching this from all over the
Yeah, the national link is all they have to do is go to NFL flag.
Okay.
That's go to NFL flag, and it will tell them where a team is in their area. Because I had someone, NFL flag hit me this morning and said, "Hey, Mike, somebody is looking for NFL flag in your area. Can you contact them?" So yeah, every day we'll get information on how to get. Just go to NFL flag.
That's great. I was going to ask about the growth and about some things, and as you're talking, this is bigger than I even knew, and this is quite an organization, and so I would encourage, especially the young kids, to get into
Yes,
this earlier. And the thing about flag football, and you know this, is that it's not just touching the guy with two hands or one hand. You
right,
got to have the athleticism and the ability to go grab that flag,
right.
which increases all of your physical tools, I would think.
The funniest thing, man, is watching our 5 and 6 year old teams. That is hilarious. We have little girls that just outrun all the boys, and then the little boys start crying because what's going on? He's talking about she pulled my flag. I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do. Or if they score a touchdown, why are you crying now? She just scored a touchdown. I'm like, man, listen, we got to talk. When the game is over, we got to sit over here and talk because that's what they do. But then, Randy, they come back the next year, and you can see the attitude change. The moms and dads are telling me, they were like, I don't know what you did to my son, but he cleans up his room now. He listens in school because we talk about all of that. You know, hey, tell the parents, if you having problems at home, give me a call. I will be at your house because they know I'm gonna have something for them to do, and it ain't gonna be fun. And so that, one parent just sent me a picture. Her son went from I think he's 10 now. He's going into his third year with us. He went from doing nothing, not one sport. She sent me a picture. She said his confidence has gone through the roof. He played. She sent me a picture of him in his basketball uniform, his baseball uniform. He runs track, and his football uniform. She said, Mike, you created a monster with my child, but we love it because he was so in his shell, we couldn't get him to do anything. This guy thinks he's Tyreek Hill. He's running down the field. He puts up two fingers because he's really fast. While he's running down the field, he puts up two fingers while he's running. And the mom is looking at me, shaking her head. She was like, where did this come from? I said, the other thing that we do is we help build confidence. And I told him, I said, I have no problem with you being confident, but you cannot be cocky out here, man. So don't take it that far. But yeah, it's bad. I'm telling you, it's been a blast.
Hey, can they play padded football and flag? How are the seasons run?
Yeah, well, see, they can't play in the fall because our league is in the spring and in the fall.
Right.
So it's like some places have summer flag. We haven't gotten that far yet because we're still trying to get our 2 seasons together. But if you're playing tackle in the fall, you probably will not be playing flag. But you could spring.
So you could do it in the spring, and if you do get it in the summer, I could see this being a great way for kids to train.
Yes.
To be more athletic and explosive and have balance and all those kind of things to prepare them for the pads.
And not only that, Randy, it's an excellent opportunity for kids, even because they have high school. You can have high school. Just having high school kids do us like 7-on-7.
Yeah.
It's other people. And now it's flag. And they get an opportunity to really, polish up their games and really get an opportunity to perform when they get to back to their teams.
Hey, can parents get involved and coaches and people that will handle the administration and stuff? How do they get involved?
Yeah, you can go. I'm sure I know our website, we have And I think a lot of other websites as well. You have tabs where you can go if you want to volunteer. There's tabs you can go to if you want to be a coach. Because my thing is, I told folks, we're looking for team moms. We're looking for more coaches. We're working with trying to get more referees. And yeah, there's definitely ways you can get involved. We have a lot of our friends. You remember Sam Clear?
Yeah.
Sam Clear is one of my coaches. Sam Clear played cornerback at Illinois. He came in with me. He's one of my coaches. And Sam loves it. Sam has one of his nephews that's coaching, and they went undefeated last year. And so Sam said, "Hey man, the kids went back and started bragging on how well they did. So now these kids. I'm on the south side. These kids are coming from the west side to come play with us because of what Sam's nephews have said."
That's outstanding. Hey, Mike, this has been great. I really love having you on, and I think we gave some more education, and we talked about a lot of different things that's going to benefit folks in our sport, in football.
Right.
And
Yes.
I just want to wrap this up by saying thanks to you, and then I want to be sure that I talk about the Up On Game Network, and you can find us, folks, on YouTube on the Up On Game Network, and go to Up On Game Presents Taylor Scouting. You can go watch that podcast about everywhere. You can also get it wherever you find podcasts, on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And so don't forget, it's LeVar Arrington's, and LeVar's a great guy, so I always like to give him a little pub, not like he needs it, but number 11, or sticks, as he says. So Up On Game Network, and we're everywhere, and we're getting bigger and better, and just want to say thanks again to Mike for being on with us, and watch us on the Up On Game Network. Okay, folks, thank you.
Take care.